Hello everyone and welcome to the Africam show. We do apologize for the delay, but we're always live and here we are live. Sometimes live comes with a couple of problems, but I'm so glad to be spending this time with you and so glad to be spending this time with the animals as well. It's me, Trishala, if you are unsure, and we get to spend this time together where you get to ask any questions you like, questions and comments, whatever it is, and we can have some amazing discussions. I think we're going to have a bit of an elephant day today. There have been elephants on quite a few of the cams. Ooh, and we've got a buff as well. Amazing. Wow, so this is quite cool. So obviously before we get to come to all of you, I have a look at the cams and see what's, what's happening on each one of them. And so far there's been really lovely wildlife on all of them. So I'm very keen for this afternoon time with you all. Oh, hi Toli. We have our first one and it's a shout out. Toli says, "Can you shout out or shout me out, please?" There you go, a shout out for you. Welcome. We are live and interactive, and if ever there was proof of it, there you go. Thanks, Toli. Zygote, you say hi Trishala. Hi Zygote. I'm really glad that you're all joining us. And I mean, it's been a while since we saw a buffalo on the cams. I can't remember when the last time we saw a buffalo was. So this is really, really cool. Oh, Rolling Trouble, you say it's your birthday, so you're ready for a great show. Oh, happy birthday, Rolling Trouble. I'm so glad that you're spending your birthday with a little bit of nature as well. I think that's a great way to honor the day that you arrived on this planet and got to share it with all this biodiversity. So this buff is on its own. So just the mere fact that it's on its own tells me that it's most likely a male, but as we get a closer look, and if he lifts up his head, we'll be able to see that he's got a nice big boss. That's the helmet-like structure at the middle, on the middle of his head, kind of where the horns meet. And if that's not proof enough for you, you may see that he is carrying some sort of sack between his back legs, which of course is another great indicator that we have a male. So male buffalo, so the core of a buffalo herd is, or are the females and their offspring. In fact, the females and their offspring make up the core of most herds across different antelope or different bovids as well. And the males usually will be on the periphery or form bachelor herds, or in some cases there'd be one single dominant male. But with buffalo, the males form bachelor herds kind of in the same greater herd. So within that, because remember, buffalo herds can be huge. Hello, Ellie. And within those huge herds, there are pockets of bachelors, sometimes really older males that once were dominant but are now past their prime, and the core of it being made up of those cows and their offspring. So this guy here is probably a male that is past his prime a little bit, although I must say he's in great shape. And he's kind of moved towards the outskirts. And, you know, these males, we call them Duggar boys because they're older, they spend a lot of time in the mud and on their own. And it's not, they don't get pushed out as such, they just kind of get left behind a little bit more and a little bit more. So the buffalo herd, the greater herd, may be close by, but he has decided to spend some time alone. Quite happily, though, I must say. He's chomping around. Oh, there comes our Ellie. How beautiful to see these two mega herbivores in one shot like this. Jive Bunny, hi Jive Bunny, you say good afternoon, Shala. Oh, our chameleon whisperer, you know how I love chameleons. I really do, but can you believe it, Jive Bunny? I haven't found a chameleon here in the Western Cape yet, and I have been looking. I really have. Kauru, hi Kauru, you say hi Trishala. Atropa, you say hi Trishala. And of course, Bob from Kalamazoo, you say good day Trishala. A hello, a good day, a welcome to all of you. Look how both bulls, the elephant bull and the buffalo bull, didn't really care about each other too much in that situation. They're not really in competition. They have no reason to be upset with each other. They're both males, they're both bulls, so they don't have to protect any calves or herds. They're very relaxed. Looks like he's thinking about having a drink, though. Sorry, this crocodile just looks like he fell out of the sky and landed like that, splat, on the ground. So now we're at tower. We can always go back at Tutembe and have a look at the elephant and the buffalo again. But this is an awesome sighting because it's a croc out of water. Always wonderful to see and also kind of difficult to see. You do notice, or once you see it, you can't unsee it. But they blend in really, really well to the color of the sand that they're around. And in fact, the actual color of a Nile crocodile is kind of like olivey, yellowy, with blotches of darker brown, sometimes darker greenish as well, and even black. But we don't get to see that because most often when they come out of the water, they've got sand and wind and things to compete with, so they end up being the same shade as whatever soil and sand is nearby. Looks like it's getting nice and warm. Sunning is so important for any reptile. Remember that reptiles are cold-blooded, ectothermic. And remember, that doesn't mean that their blood is cold. They still have to have their metabolic processes that are going to generate heat, and they need heat within their body. It's just that the way that they do it cannot be regulated in the same way as we can. We endotherms, we can regulate our body temperature to just that perfect window. And we can do all of that from what's happening inside of us. But for reptiles, not so much. They are at the mercy of the ambient temperatures. Becky WV, you say good morning from West Virginia. You've got your coffee in hand. I'm glad to hear it. Rolling Trouble, you wanted to know what are the yellow flowers? I will have a look at what you mean, but I do know that there's this the flower in Medique that is called the drought flower. I'm not sure what the common name is, but it's Nidorella residifolia. But we'll have a look at the flower, or if I see it, I will definitely let you know. Now we've got some zebras coming down. I'd be interested to know what the temperature is here at the moment. I mean, earlier I actually did spend some time remotely at Medique today, but I can't remember what the temperature was. But all through the region, it seems pretty warm. So I wonder why that croc was feeling particularly in need to warm up today. Please excuse me. I am feeling the opposite and just taking my jacket off. Oh, we've got a nice collection of birds there. I see some spoonbills, I think, and a stork. Looks like a yellow-billed stork, but it's difficult to see from all this way. Yep, so we've got a yellow-billed stork and 2 spoonbills. Oh, this is wonderful. I love watching African spoonbills. I just think that their bills are so unique. And certainly they are. And it's really interesting to watch them probe. Looks like we had a darter. Was it a darter? Ah, no, it's a white-faced whistling duck. And I think a grey heron. At least that's what it looks like. What a nice selection of water birds right there. Zygote, you said the moorhen called as well. Absolutely. I love when you give us those little tidbits. And we've got the most amazing sighting of a game drive vehicle going by. That was a blacksmith lapwing. Sorry, not a blacksmith lapwing. Sounded like a crown lapwing. Oh, nice. Oh. So just already we've seen some really large herbivores. Elephant, buffalo, and now we have this giraffe here at Old Donyo. Really large herbivorous animals that that was such a careful step, that are not in competition at all. And I think that that's amazing. All have different feeding strategies and yet are able to coexist quite happily. Oh, it looked like this giraffe almost called over those oxpeckers. Oxpeckers are like the, the tow trucks that just hang around high accident areas. Those are the oxpeckers. Oh. Sounds like maybe there's a vehicle or something close by. Definitely gave it a bit of a spook. And remember, for giraffes, bending down to drink is such a compromising position to be in. They've got to bend over, they've got to drop their head forward, and when they do that, there's a lot going on. And they're missing out on a lot because their hearing can be compromised, their sight is compromised, so any little disturbance is going to make them stop and turn around. And particularly for giraffes, because they've got to bend over so precariously, because of that, it's going to take them even longer to respond to a threat. So they rather do it, even if it's a false alarm, than not do it at all. Oh, wow! Isn't that stunning? Got a lovely kudu. Look at his horns, how impressive. Wow, this river is looking stunning. I mean, it was looking even fuller just after those rains, but even now it is looking absolutely beautiful. Still so green on the banks of it too. Now we've seen the lone buffalo, bull. We saw the lone elephant, bull, and now we have a lone kudu, bull. In a way, they're all kind of adopting the same kind of strategies. Males tend to have to obviously fight for whether it's territory or access to estrus females. So they're more often alone than females are, because females will usually have young. And if females have young, then it's it makes more sense in terms of safety to be together, and that's how we get these breeding herds. But with males, small bachelor herds, very loose aggregations, and oftentimes on their own. Oh, now we've got the good old impala. Oh, what a wonderful message. I'm not sure who this is from, though. It says, "Good day to Charlotte. It makes me uncomfortable to see the zebras walking towards the croc." I suppose it can be, but I'm sure those zebras will see it. Also remember that the croc's greatest advantage is to be in the water. That's when it can move the best, when it can be quickest. That's from Giraffe. Hi, Giraffe. So when it's outside of water, it can still be very fast, and it is definitely not something you want to approach, but its advantage comes from being an ambush predator. So it could be unfortunate for the zebras, but I hope that it will end well. Giraffe, you also say, happy to share the study minutes with you and the wild animals. Second day of spring here in Toronto. Congratulations. It's always nice to be entering spring. And you're also happy to see Monty this week curled in his tree. Ah, Monty. Don't get me started on Monty. I love Monty. How about we have a look back, go back over to Tau and see how it went. If it's still going, whatever is happening with that croc. I'm sure the zebras would not walk directly into its path. No, we have some elephants coming down now. Oh, and they've got a tiny baby. Oh, this baby seems to have floppy ears. Let's see when it comes past. Or am I just seeing things? And some elephants, it can be really common, it's carried genetically. So you'll see a mother with a floppy ear, a calf with a floppy ear, and maybe some other females in the pride too, in the herd too. Yeah, it does look like it has floppy ears. So that has to do with the structure, particularly like the ligaments and cartilage in the ear, that have some kind of deformity, and so it can't hold the ear up in the typical way. Which genes exactly are involved in that, I'm really not sure. But whatever it is, because remember, it's not always just one gene that's switching something on and off. It can be a host of genes that affect something, like height. Height is affected by many, many, many genes. So it's hard to say, oh, your parents tall, so you will be tall. It's probably not a bad estimation, but it's not that straightforward. And so with this floppy ear, I don't know if it is, how many genes are involved in it, but obviously it is recessive, or most of them are recessive, because you don't see it in many, many animals. Oh, this baby has gotten down and dirty. Yeah, roll in it. Don't drink it though. I think that the preference for fresh, clean water is definitely something that's learned. I've seen baby elephants just kind of put their head in to any old water where other elephants have been urinating and defecating and moving around, and no other elephant is drinking there, but this little one will stop and at least give it a go. It will only stop trying to drink from it when it sees that nobody else is. Oh, Karen, you say, ah, so cute, baby Ellie. Baby Ellie is just, baby Ellie will make your day. Baby Ellie will change whatever way your day was going if it was negative. Baby Ellie changes lives. I love these expressions. Rolling troubles up, baby! And it's in capital letters with an exclamation mark. Lots and lots of excitement. Tim, you'd like to know if this is the mother of those babies. I mean, she doesn't have to necessarily be the mother of all of them, but it does look like a mum and her 3 babies, because there has to be quite a significant gap between them, but they all kind of look the right size. So this baby is tiny, brand new tiny, maybe even a couple months, not even. So this is tiny, tiny. So if we say there's a 2-year pregnancy, 3 to 5 years to be weaned, so let's say at least 5 years between these calves, at least. And I think that kind of looks about right. This is so beautiful. Oh, this is so beautiful. Kaoru, exactly, that baby is hilarious. That baby needs to stay here so we can laugh more. That is an absolutely hilarious baby. How precious was that? Virginia Paul, you also say so precious. Tim, you actually, sorry, your question only came, I only read it now. You wanted to know, is this the mother of these babies? So maybe I did speak about it, but I got a little carried away by the cuteness. But she certainly looks like it. So, like I said, we're looking for 2 years of pregnancy and at least 3 years of suckling. So while a baby is still being nursed, it usually suppresses hormones associated with estrus. So a mother is only likely to get into estrus and be able to fall pregnant again once she has at least began weaning, so she's not producing as much milk. So if I had to say, I mean, the one doesn't look quite 10, but you know, could be a little bit younger. Could also just be the perspective that we're looking. But if we said 10 years old, 5 years old, and newborn, I would be happy with that. And they were so perfectly positioned so that we could see their sizes and also see their tusk lengths. Oh, that was amazing. Ah, Durell, the zebras were actually moving in a completely different direction to the croc. That is always good news. Oh, Ali McD, you said that those floppy ears are delightful. Thanks for the info. It's a phenomenon you are unaware of. Very, very cute. Yeah, it is something that we see a lot. I seen 2 floppy ears, not as, no, when I say common, in my time of seeing many elephants, I must have seen maybe 5 individuals with floppy ears, different individuals. And most often it's one ear as opposed to both ears being floppy. So it was very, very cool to see. But I'd love to do some more research on that and just figure out exactly how it's happening, because sometimes, like with what we just saw there, none of the siblings of that baby had floppy ears. The mother didn't have floppy ears. So perhaps it's not only genetic. Perhaps it can also be developmental. So something that happens at a fetal stage that works in conjunction with the genetics. But anyway, that's all just me thinking out loud. But I'd love to do more research, and of course I will get back to you. Oh, Rolling Trouble, you say thank you for an amazing birthday present. I'll call that little baby Ellie and I'll let it know. That was a wonderful birthday present, wasn't it? Anyway, everybody, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for your questions and your comments. I know that it was a little quicker today, but it's always such a pleasure to spend this time with all of you. So, Rolling Trouble, enjoy your birthday. Everybody else, enjoy your morning, evening, afternoon, whatever it is, enjoy it. And thank you for spending this time with us. Bye for now.